Alrighty now, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? This is going to be the hardest video I have had to make, and by far the hardest anime and manga comparison I will ever have to do, because I'm comparing my favorite episode and my favorite manga chapters. This is going to be tough, but without further ado, let's get right into it. Chapter 518, Fist. Now, this one was the simpler one for me to gauge between the three. For the flashback portion of the chapter, I have to go to the anime just because it was just done so well. I love those black borders. I felt that the VAs handled it really nice. I love Katsura's VA so much, and this part just made more of an impact to me in the anime than it did in the manga. Now, getting off the flashback for me, those flashback sequences of them as kids are phenomenal in the anime. But going back and seeing back where Takasugi looks up and he sees Shoyo, this could go either way. It really depends on you. For me, the part where he says, "Sensei, are you here to punch me again? You said not to half-ass things." The VA landed those parts so well, and it was just so amazing. But the manga did such a great job too, so it could go either way. The following two panels, though, go to the manga for me, man. The "he's not here." God, that panel was so amazing in the manga, and I just have to hand it to Sorachi. Sorachi stepped up his art game so much in these chapters; it was insane. And then, because he did such a good job that it was nearly impossible for the anime to nail it as well as the manga. But the anime did a great job, though, and in the following panel, Sensei isn't around anymore. Made more of an impact in the manga for me as well. It was really good. The only ones that can stop us anymore are us. Was done really well in both. So that part is definitely tied for me. And the next part that for me has to go to the anime, and that's when Gintoki punches Takasugi. I felt that when he hit him with the Falcon Punch, baby. I was like, whoa! This is insane. And the VA put everything he had into it, man. The voice actor put everything he had into it. I was like, goodness gracious. So overall, 518. It could go either way, but I think the anime has an edge for this chapter. It has the edge for chapter 518. Now, this is where it's going to get really, this is where I really dissect it, alright? Because these are my two favorite chapters of all time. I went panel for panel for chapter 519 and 520. Chapter 519, Enemy. This is tied for my favorite chapter of all time, guys, with 520. And the following two portions are the hardest for me to gauge. This was the tough part. Alright, this is where I really had to sit down and be like, alright, let's get right into it. So, the first pages, as I said, for 518 were done better in the anime, but the panel where he punches and shows his face could go either way. It really can. And also, if you guys can open up a separate tab on Kiss Manga and follow along as I go along here and talk about the panels, and maybe if you want to open up a tab for the anime episode as well, that'd be cool, because I'm about to really go in depth and go into each individual panel. So then the following panel, where it shows Gintoki holding on to the wound that Takasugi gives him, was done better in the manga, because it really felt like if he would have kept moving, he would have died. I mean, just the way that his face was, because the anime did a great job too, but in the manga, I felt it. I was like, oh my god, if he moves that shoulder again, it's so much blood's gonna come out, he's gonna die. And it was insane. So the manga takes that panel for sure. Oh man, it's him holding his wound. That was crazy. And in the following portion, I have to give to the anime, man. The VA, along with the transition into Takatsugi's perspective, seeing it from his eyelid as he attempted to open and close it, was absolutely phenomenal, man. That portion was done so well in the anime. I just have to give it to it. The next page could go to either the anime or the manga. The manga really made those impact, those hit really impactful. But the anime did it as well. And I feel like the manga's art was a bit better, but the anime had the amazing voice actors, man. And it was just so good. So it could go either way here for the next page. Now for the following page, page 5. This page goes completely to the manga. As much as the anime nailed the voice acting, I felt like Sorachi's panels were too much. This part was insane. There are expressions on the top of the page, as well as the following panel where Takasugi nails Gintoki with his knee, sending him back. It was just, wow. It was crazy. Then the eye. This closed left eye of mine. Panels were beautiful, man. The close-ups Sorachi did onto his face were superb. One of my favorite Takasugi panels, honestly, was the one with the one where it really closes up to him. and you see the bandage coming down. You see really just how ripped up his face is, and I feel like the manga really did a better job of showcasing this part than the anime. However, the following 2 pages go completely without a shut up without to the anime. Yo, every time I rewatch this scene, I get teary-eyed. All right, and I don't know whether it's the music or not, but the way the camera pans and it shows it from his perspective in a way that just speaks to me more than the manga did, man. I guess because you actually get to see the full perspective of it, but God Almighty! And then the portion, dude. The one part that I specifically loved that they added to the anime was when they showed him looking up Gintoki while saying the hatred, and the way the voice actor nailed that line along with the soundtrack. But because in the manga it was just it was like a reused panel. It just showed Gintoki, Takasugi, and Katsura with Shoyo's head next to them. But in the anime, it showed a first person view right out of his eye, literally, just like it's like the other panels, out of his eye, showing the hatred. He looks up at Gintoki after, panning up from Shoyo's head up into Gintoki, and that was perfect. The anime nailed that. I was like, yo, this is crazy, dude. When he said the hatred, I tear up every time. BNP nailed it. Now, the top of the next page, where Takasugi states, I haven't forgotten a thing. I have not once lost sight of it. It could go either way. I loved what Sorachi did, but the anime did a fantastic job here too, so it's definitely your choice. The next 2 panels with Takasugi talking about the opponent that is burned onto the inside of the eyelid, and Gintoki's hand goes to it goes to the manga. Yeah, it has to go to the manga. And the foot sliding, that goes to the anime, and Gintoki getting up again, that goes to the manga. I felt that one. I felt that one. That was a really, really powerful panel. The Our Sworn Enemy is right here panel could go either way. The 3 panels that follow were better in the anime. I love the transition sequences, especially the Take Revenge for Sensei scene. That scene was done great. It was really starting to bring in that color that we got later on in the episode, and it was great. I really, really loved it. Now, the bottom 3 panels for me are better in the manga, mainly because of the angles of their faces. I felt they were better and fit more than the angles of their faces in the anime, and it was more powerful and fit the scene more in the manga, man, because just the way that the Sorachi made us look at their faces really, really made you feel for that scene. So I have to give that portion, those bottom 3 panels to the manga for sure. The For Me It's You and For You It's Me panel, without a doubt, goes to the manga. I love the way they did in the anime. The voice actor did a phenomenal job. But the manga scene, it was too good. It was too good. It was almost impossible to beat that scene for me. Even though it was a transition in the anime, where it goes into the mid card, I liked it. But the manga, really, really good. And the rest of that page goes entirely to the anime. The rest of that page goes entirely to the anime. After For Me It's You and For You It's Me, the rest of that page goes to the anime without a doubt. Then the top of the page where Shoyo is shown was handled better in the anime, but the rest of the page could go either or, man. They were both equal. It was really, really good. Now, the top 2 panels of page 12 go to the manga. I love the panel because of how clearly it shows Takasugi fearing the blade. Looking right there, he took his blade. You could see the fear in his eyes in the manga. And the following panel really stuck to me and hit me in the anime. I made it my default picture on Twitter because I love the way when Gintoki's looking down. The panel is really good in the manga, but the anime just synced it. And I love the addition of having the Tendoshu weapons right next to him too. The background was really, really nice addition, and just the coloring, it was phenomenal. I really, really like that portion of the anime. Now, the rest of the page as well goes completely to the anime. Love the split scene with Takasugi and Katsura looking back. Plus, the Shoyo portion really hit me better in the anime as well. With him tied up and the way it pans, it was great. Now, the first 2 panels of page 13 go to the manga without a shadow of a doubt, specifically Takasugi's face. Just look at his eye! Look at it! The detail, my God, and the amount of pain that they're feeling is insane. Dude, and then the kick itself goes to the anime, then the top panels of page 14 go to the manga. The following portion, however, goes to the anime. My goodness. Takatsugi's voice actor, along with the amount of hits and punches, you really felt that scene and his anger. Oh my God, dude, every time that he was just yelling and he kept on nailing, I was like, dude, this is crazy. He just kept on beating the living pulp out of Gintoki. I was like, goodness gracious, I'm still mind blown how they managed to do that. That was phenomenal. BNP did an excellent job for that scene. Now, the beginning of page 15 could go either or. I like the art and impact more in the manga. That headbutt was insane, but the anime made it flow so well, so it could go either or, honestly. The following panels with Gintoki kicking Takasugi off him was better in the anime. The impact was just, it was too fierce. It was too fierce. The following page 16 was better in the anime as well. My god, man, those additional sequences, or those additional scenes, the way it was animated, the way it transitioned, it was just godlike. It was amazing. The beginning of page 17 also goes to the anime, dude. That yell, the first panel of page 17, that yell was like, Rah! That was incredible, dude. He nailed it. And then the rest of the page could go either or. I absolutely love the way both of them did it. I love the way the anime transitioned into a flashback along with the VA's yell. But Sriracha's transition was done really well too, and it was great. I absolutely love the way both of them did it. Now, this next portion is difficult to answer because it was melded with the beginning of 520. I absolutely love the way the anime did the thank you silently to Takasugi, which is the beginning of 520, showing it out of order, and we got to see it from his perspective, So this page could go either way depending on your taste. They were pretty much equal for me. And then here comes the page, man. Here comes the page. The part that made Gintama surpass every other piece of literature before it. For me. The final page of chapter 519. Now, the first panel of that page is the same panel that made me cry in the anime, as well as... It's the same panel that made me cry for both times, man. It really was. That panel is just so powerful. When Gintoki's tearing up right before he executes him, man, and it's a really powerful panel. Seeing a character that you've seen that's been so strong so far, and he's beginning to tear up. When I first saw it in the manga, I don't know, man. It was insane, and when he tears up and he beheads him, and the beheading itself was done better in the manga, in my honest opinion. And especially since I read it first there, and the shock destroyed me because in the anime it looked like he didn't do it at first, because of the hair, I felt like he kind of faked it. But it was definitely great too, but depending on the way you see it, I liked it. I thought it was a great addition, but the shock of seeing his head fly in the manga, I'll never forget it. I was in shock, and then the emotion of me being shocked, and then looking up and seeing those two panels, and seeing Gintoki in the present and Gintoki in the past, and just seeing his sad face and just how he was, and especially the top panel showing in the past, and that's the same freaking panel that made me tear up in the manga, man. Or in the anime, it was insane. Just whenever I was looking at his face, and I remember the burden. The absolute burden that this man has carried throughout the entire series. Everything just made sense, and I broke down and I teared up for a good 30 minutes in my live reaction for the Shogun Assassination originally. And it was, I'll never forget seeing those top two panels. So for me, 519 overall, I have to give the manga an edge. The anime did as perfect as of a job as they could have done, but it was just my experience with the manga that puts it up, man. I'll never forget looking at that to the top of that page after Gintoki. I'll never forget just looking down, seeing Gintoki cut off Shoyo's head. I was so shocked, and I looked up and I saw those top two panels, and I saw Gintoki's sad expression in the present and in the past, starting to tear up, and I'll never forget just letting it all out, and it's truly powerful, and it really, that moment making Gintoki my favorite character of all time. Just going back, seeing all the times that he's talked about so many different things, in the Shinigami arc, how he joked about cutting off a dude's head in one hit, or in just one swing to make it, not painful or anything. How he talked about promises not being made lightly in Courtesan. How he got so angry about the fact, in Red Spider, about the whole teacher ordeal. And, going back to Benny Zakura, when Katsura talked about how Gintoki should be the one to hate the world. And everything that you've seen thus far from this man, the way that he just helps so many people, how the way that he continues to smile even though he carries this humongous burden, and it's absolutely amazing, and he truly is the greatest character I've ever seen, and the burden of carrying that throughout all these years, and he still continues to move forward, and the fact that Gintama's even a troll series makes this all even sadder. It's like the series is such a troll series, and the reason why it's also very, very comedic is because he's trying to hide all this pain. He's trying to close it all away there, but carry the burden by himself, and yet he still manages to smile and have all these comedic control moments. It truly brings tears to your eyes and makes you realize just how much of a phenomenal character he is, and also makes you realize, if Gintoki went through all that and he can still smile, still continue to move forward, still protect his way of life, why can't we do the same? And it's truly it's inspirational, touching, and that scene of 519, I always say, is the biggest shocking moment I've ever seen, but it's also the moment for me in anime and manga, because not only is it sad in an instant of him having to cut his teacher's head off and execute him, but the saddest thing of it all is just knowing the context of the series and knowing all that he's had to go through, and just carrying that burden for so long. That is truly what makes this moment sad, and that is truly what makes this moment one of the greatest, and no, for me, the greatest moment of all time. It's truly something incredible, man. But getting off of that, let's go into chapter 520. The first 2 pages, it could go either way, just like I said before. It depends on your choice. I love them both a lot, though. They were both really, really well done. The top of page 4 on chapter 520 was done better in the manga, and the following panel as well for me. The page 5 could go either way. Sorachi's art was absolutely perfect, but the anime's VA, you could really tell just how hard both were trying to. The VA's so it's tied. That portion right there for me, without a doubt, is tied, man. It was truly crazy. The top of page 6 goes to the manga, where he breaks his sword, as well as the next panel with Gintoki's expression. I feel like those two were handled way better in the manga. The following hits with Takasugi's expression could go either way. It was done really well in both versions. Page 7 for me was done outstandingly well in the anime. Those hits were absolutely insane, man. Just seeing how the pieces were cut off and how it stayed there, just seeing how the blood, how it inflicted whenever it hit, I was like, oh my god. If JR would have been commenting like that, I'd be like, by God almighty, it killed him! Like, it was insane. The following portion could go either way as well. The art in the manga was phenomenal, but the anime did just as good of a job, for the next scene. It was so good. Page 9's first panel was more impactful in the manga. I can definitely say that the first panel for me, it was with the head flying, it was more impactful in the manga for me. But the next part, I absolutely love the way the anime did it. Seeing the head fly in his eye, in Takasugi's eye, was godlike. The anime did that part absolutely well. Then the following part with him yelling Gintoki, it could go either way, depending on you. I felt this part was equal. The next part was done better in the anime, though. The portion directly after that. It was done better in the anime up until the close up to Takasugi's face. And to me, because that face in the manga was the face of despair, man. The face of giving up in the manga, and I love that close up by Sorachi. She's really showing the emotion without having to say it, and it was crazy. Because Takasugi didn't speak in that scene. He was speaking through the monologue, but not in the flashback, and it was crazy. And I love the way that really showed the despair, that he just gave up in the moment. The following page 11, was done better in the anime for sure, up until the last panel, which combines the first panel of page 12 in the anime. The way that it transitions from his eye in the past up until the eye in the present. This portion for me, it could go either way depending on you. I just really love the artwork in the anime. I loved how it just stayed right there on his face, and it was just so well. So I think I'll have to give that portion to the manga. It was really, really good. The way that the art transitioned, it was like exactly the same, and showing in the past and the present, it was great. But here we go, man. This is where it gets crazy. When that OST hit, my heart skipped a beat, man. Oh my god. And you saw the change in the color. It reminded me that 4 Davis animation. I was like, good lord, this is insane. The rest of the page was done better in the anime for me. I absolutely love the way it transitioned from black and white and into color. That was greatness, and that was insane. And then here comes the panel that follows, man, is one of the most iconic panels in manga for me. And with Gintoki's tears streaming down his face, both of them were equally impactful and incredible. But To be honest, I actually prefer the anime on this one. I prefer the anime on this one for the color and for the way that, I guess, with the way the OST. I don't know what it was, but this panel hit me harder in the anime than in the manga. Because in the manga, I was sobbing throughout all of this. So, it wasn't just that part. But in the anime, when I saw that, I was like, good. I was like, oh man, this is insane. It was equally good. But I preferred the anime. I preferred the anime for the tear scene, man. I was insane. The following portions of the page was done absolutely insane in the anime, ladies and gentlemen. Goodness gracious, from the colors to the OST to the animations of them spitting out blood, the anime got this part, period. The entire next page was godlike in the anime. Goodness gracious. Dude, the anime was nailing 520, man. It was crazy. The why don't you avenge sensei? If you stick a blade in that chest, everything would end, it says. Part was done way better in the anime, because in the manga it was just one panel of like an incomplete Takasugi facial expression. In the manga, it felt like he was crying on top of that board. I was like, goodness gracious, that part hit me. And Takasugi's voice actor, goodness gracious. And not only that, just the rest of the page, the rest of the page was done better than the manga. I mean, in the anime, I'm sorry. The rest of the page was done splendid in the anime, just perfectly in the anime, ladies and gentlemen. The why did you choose us Gintoki panel could go either way. That was a powerful panel. Why the hell did you choose us Gintoki? I mean, either way, I love the way the VA did it, but it could go either way for you, They were both equally amazing. The next part of page 16 with Gintoki's face and the beginning of his dialogue was better in the anime. But the following two Takasugi panels were better in the manga, man. The final two panels of page 16 with Takasugi, those panels were godlike in the manga, and I love those panels. And then the "it's too bad then I won't fall" part in the anime gave me goosebumps. Yeah, that part. Whenever he's just standing in his hand, you see all the blood dripping down. I was like, dude, this is crazy. This is greatness right here. And then the rest of the chapter, from "I am the disciple of Yoshida Shoyo Sakata Gintoki" to Takatsugi's I haven't been expelled yet, have I? Those lines were done absolutely perfectly. Those lines were nailed, son. Absolutely nailed, and were done better in the anime, period. And I was nearly in tears, and then everything that followed that was better in the anime for me as well, especially art wise. It was phenomenal, yo. Shout out to Obero's epic entrance, but damn it, when he threw that thing at Takatsugi in the anime, I was like, goodness gracious, what the hell happened? Because in the manga, the panel just came out of nowhere. The panel of him just getting stabbed, I was like, what the heck, what just happened? But in the anime, you see the stab, and you're like, whoa, was it Gintoki that did it? And it pans out, and it shows that he got stabbed, and that stab panel could go either way for you. But the art for the rest of the chapter was done really, really well in the anime, and the anime just handled it 520 just godlike. The color, the OST, the voice acting. I was like, the Yoshida, the I'm disciple of Yoshida Shoyo Sakata Gintoki. That right there was in the anime, son. Because the manga panel's godlike, but that part of the anime was superb. I was like, yo, this is crazy. So guys, overall, chapter 518, the anime has an edge. Chapter 519, the manga has an edge. But for chapter 520, the anime stole the show. Good Lord Almighty. 520, the anime god. I mean, there was definitely some portions that were numbered in the manga, but overall, especially the last part, man, the last portion of the episode was absolutely phenomenal. And the thing is, I can't gauge 521 because the first page of 521 was the end of the chapter with Obero showing up. But 518, 519, 520, I can definitely gauge those, and damn it, it was a phenomenal episode. And the thing is, you know what? So for episode 305 of the Shogun Assassination arc, man, it is a tie. It's a tie between the anime and the manga, but if I had to give the edge to one, it would probably have to be the anime, man. For executing unique and incredible filler scenes, as well as putting out things out of the order in a way that fits so well. I was in love, and the flashbacks were so on point. The VAs stole the show as absolutely phenomenal voice acting, and it just flowed so well. The anime, the way that it meshed 519 and 520 like that was great. I absolutely love the way they did that, and damn it, if I had to give the edge to one, I'd probably have to go the anime. No lie, but I love them both pretty much equally. You know, for God's sakes, they're my favorite episode, favorite chapters of all time. So it was tough, but this was the hardest anime manga comparison thing I've ever had to do, man. This was insane. It was absolutely amazing. I plan on I don't know if I'm gonna make these videos. I would like to. I wanted to go more in depth about Gintoki's character and whatnot, and talk about just the overall why these moments mean so much, and possibly why, maybe even a video of why Gintoki versus Takasugi is my favorite fight of all time. And I want to make a couple more Gintama discussion videos. I don't know what they're going to be about, but overall, guys, this right here, this is to me the pinnacle of fiction. With these two chapters, 519 and 520, this episode, it was just, I've never seen anything better. Period. Just the emotion. It's Takatsuki, such an amazing character, but for God's sakes, man, Gintoki is out of this world, man. Gintoki's character is absolutely phenomenal. And that speech he gives, dude. That speech he gives, I am the disciple of Yoshida. Whenever he says that he understood, when Takasugi states, no one would have wanted to save him more than you. And then Gintoki says, no, that's exactly why. Because you would have done the same thing. I was just protecting what he wanted to protect, which is you. Oh my God, which was Takatsuki. Bro, that line was too much. And then whenever he says, I am the disciple of Yoshida Show, that line hits hard so much after everything that he's done, and goodness gracious, dude. Oh my gosh, just see right now gives me a little tear in my eye, dude. Phenomenal. I mean, you could really dissect this entire fight for all this godlike dialogue. I mean, this fight seriously does have the best dialogue I've ever read, though. Period. Bar none. Best dialogue I've ever read, and it's amazing. But guys, I'll let you guys go since I'm just rambling on here. You guys have been awesome today. Overall, the anime gets the edge, but it was tough. It was tough. Once again, 519 manga gets the edge. 518 anime gets the edge, but for 520, I gotta give the whole thing to the anime. The goodness, Lord, the finale of that episode was too good in the anime. They really poured it into it in that one. God, yeah, I didn't. That did the flashbacks well. I really love the fact that so many of you out there agree with me, and for this portion of Gintama being such great. And this portion right here really is why the Shogun assassination arc is my favorite arc of all time. The experience of this guy it was something I'll never forget. Both the manga and anime versions, I'll never forget these experiences. It was definitely days that I will never forget, and I'm really glad I'm able to share these experiences with you guys. So you guys have an awesome day. We live in the Gintama awesome sauce, and I'll see you guys next week for the finale of the Shogun assassination arc. And let's hope that in the preview of the following episode, we will see either whatever they decide to do with the anime. I don't know whether they're gonna go back to show some comedy. If they're gonna continue down the OVA route, whether they're already doing Love Potion, and then they might as well do the others through the OVA. I expect the next arc to start right after this one ends. So I look forward to get more weeks of awesome sauce with Gintama, and I look forward to hearing all of your guys' reactions and thoughts after every single episode ends, because that really is why I do this, man. You guys are so awesome, and your comments, man, every time I read them, I'm like, yo, because a lot of those comments that I read yesterday are exactly how I felt. A lot of you guys, or that watched that part for the first time, especially whenever you brought up the burden Gintoki had to carry and why you love him so much. I completely understand that. I 100%. That's why he's my favorite character of all time. That's why I teared up so much. It's the only time I've ever cried while reading manga, and that part drove me to tears, even though I already knew what was gonna happen in the anime again. And I sobbed through the entire episode whenever I watched it alone. Man, it was crazy. It's truly the greatest episode I've ever seen. Just phenomenal in all aspects, and and now this portion of Shogun Assassination Arc holds the title for both anime and manga. So this is pretty crazy. But you guys have an awesome day. Gintama awesome sauce. Just it's crazy, man. You guys have a great one. Oh my gosh.